Sunday in Charleston, West Virginia for TBT 2025 here at the West Virginia Regional. It's round number 2. And boy, do we have a good one on our hands on FS1. The 3-seed West Virginia, the West Virginia Alumni, and the 2, heard that, the Marshall Alumni, here from the Charleston Coliseum. A couple of teams that had some different paths in the first round, a little easier for Heard That, 84-71 on a JP Tokato Elam ending free throw to move on with their Friday victory. Tokato, the former UNC Tar Heel, and then West Virginia blowing a 17-point lead and then having to rescue itself with a couple of Toby Okani free throws. 72-69 over the 6-seed Du Bois Stream. Bottom of the bracket between James Madison and the West Virginia regions. Winner of this game gets Elite Nation, who had an 18-point lead, ended up blowing it, and then had new life in the Elam ending scenario. So the top seed awaiting the winner of this matchup. And so happy to say hello here from Charleston, West Virginia, alongside the former Liberty Flame, Tip Scarborough, Matt Martucci. Well, college basketball, you don't really necessarily get Marshall and West Virginia anymore, the way the landscape is situated. So this is the next best thing. The Mountaineer alumni, the Herd alumni. There's been trash talk all week. We've done all of the matchups that have taken place previously. Can't wait to get this one underway.
Yeah, you know, in college, West Virginia, clearly the bigger team, the bigger brother, if you will, in this rivalry. But that Marshall University, that program has been great under Dan D'Antoni recently, and now he's retired. Cornelius Jackson has taken over. But in TBT, Heard That has been special at times. They've won the last meeting. You know, West Virginia won the first time. But you think about a 13-point win in an Elam ending scenario, that is a controlled game. They won it easily. I don't suspect that it will happen that way today. Each team has beaten each other once. This is the tiebreaker. I can't wait to get this thing going.
And Heard That will be a little bit short-handed, but looking forward to taking the top off of this one when we return. Winner goes to the regional final. TBT, the basketball tournament, is powered by Puma and by Or Health. Or Health, a daily pill to drink less or quit. And Purple. Purple, less pain, better sleep. A sunny Sunday in Charleston, West Virginia, as we take a look at our starting lineups between Heard That. Stevie Browning, the former Marshall guard, along with JP Tokato, Xavier Munford, former Conference USA MVP Ja'Cory Williams, and Derek Cook Jr. And a little defection in the West Virginia lineup. Jared West, former Marshall alumni, coming over to play for his dad. James Reese V had a big first round for the former North Texas and South Carolina guard. And Trey Mitchell played at 4 different schools, West Virginia one of them. He will jump it up today against Derek Cook Jr.
Mitchell was big late, number 27 in black. I tell you what, James Reese, the 5th, number 3 in black, North Texas player, but he looks really good in a West Virginia uniform.
This is Tokato. Heard That with a double-digit win in round 1 as Munford way off target. mentioned before we left you is Williams to the bucket, scored his +1. They heard that a little bit shorthanded. No John Elmore, no Tavion Kinsey playing in the NBA Summer League. But regardless of what happens today in their final, they're going to be here tomorrow for practice.
Practice tomorrow and Tuesday, championship game of the regional, should they survive. So if they do survive, it's going to be because of the guy at the free throw line right now, Ja'Cory Williams, the former standout at Middle Tennessee State. Played one season there. He played most of his career at Arkansas. But when he went to Middle Tennessee, all he did was become Conference USA Player of the Year, and already off to a great start. 29 points the other night. Can he carry the load again this afternoon?
Three-point play for Williams. And Mitchell, the drop step on the block. And gets things started for this West Virginia alumni team.
I've covered a lot of Marshall games. And of course, Jarrett West, Jr., number 13 in black, is talking to him, misses that shot. I'm not used to seeing him play against his teammates, his college teammates, throughout the course of his career. There he is.
Yeah, not bashful, letting it fly from the three-point arc.
You said it was a defection, but is it, if you're going to play for your dad, that's just something family over everything, right?
Well, family, we said it yesterday, family ties over alumni ties for sure. Wesley Harris, who was a Mountaineer for a couple years. Mitchell gets a look and quickly one and done. Much different West Virginia roster, though, compared to what we've seen in the past.
Very true. They've gone younger. The GM, Greg Richardson, has kind of retooled. GM John Flowers as well. John is in uniform. Obviously, all the West Virginia fans remember John Flowers and Kevin Jones and some of those other guys that played for Bob Huggins.
Harris and Mitchell, early in the shot clock, rattled home.
Mitchell is a really good interior player, but he took his talents to the perimeter for his fast down from downtown.
Already 5 for Mitchell, and quick hands for West, stealing it from Tokoto.
Jarrett West is one of the best on-ball defenders you will see. A dogged defender from the perimeter.
Browning quick on the trigger from the wing, tracks down his own miss.
Stevie Browning got off to a good start early the other night, missed his first shot here, but he tracks down his own rebound. Here's Xavier Mumford. Great dime.
It's Cook. Derek Cook Jr. to bring that back to within a bucket. Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough, just getting our bearings here in Charleston. Game number 2 of a doubleheader. Winner gets the top seed Elite Nation in Tuesday night's regional final. Mitchell, someone in the first row was open.
They were open to their credit, but they don't play for West Virginia.
Now heard that, co-coached by Aunt Elmore, who was his brother John's teammate at Marshall and is now a practicing attorney here at Charleston. They run Elmore and Elmore along with his dad, Gay Elmore, former VMI legend with over 2,000 points.
Over 2,500. Don't shortchange it.
West backs it out. Hey, top of the key triple, off target for Kedrian Johnson. Munford at the controls for Heard That, manned up by West. And briefly doubled, whistle and a foul on West Virginia.
West Virginia number 27, Trey Mitchell. This is first.
And we talked about Jared West coming to play for his dad, Jared West Sr. Former Mountaineer himself, took the team under Gail Catlett to the Sweet 16 back in 97-98. And now a women's basketball assistant coach at Glenville State.
Was the head boys coach at Notre Dame High School. J.P. Tokoto, the North Carolina standout, getting it done in the paint. Well, yeah, Jared West Sr. actually won the state Class A championship with junior playing in 2017.
And I'm sure a moment that neither of the two of them will ever forget. As Harris whipped that out of bounds.
I don't know many players that would have caught that ball with the amount of heat he put on it.
That's a jammed finger usually.
Yeah, if you are able to stop it, yep, you usually jam your knuckle. Kedrian Johnson, who can blame him for letting that one sail through his fingertips?
West Virginia, that was their Achilles heel against Du Bois Stream. Gave it away what was 25 times. Tokoto drew in the double. Williams shook off the contact and whistle and a foul.
My goodness. Great shot fake. But boy, that was some collision. I don't know if he was in the act of shooting, honestly. Did he even get a chance to get that up? But we'll see how the officials see it. Yet to me, I don't know if that's in the act of shooting.
Well, he was trying to go up. Wesley Harris had a collar.
Wesley Harris is sent to personal. Team's third. The previous play is
Greg Evans, who's on this officiating crew, tells us that they're going to take a look.
Yeah, what do you think, Matt? I know I'm the analyst, but I'm asking you what you think, and I'll tell you what I think. Flagrant?
Yeah, I mean, based on maybe the contact to the neck, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to say it's not a flagrant foul because it's a basketball play. Oh, you know what? That hand.
The hand on the head.
And then the grab.
That's what I'm saying, the collar.
Okay.
The collar and the contact on the neck.
And Matt Martucci, I know you're not a lawyer like Hot Elmore and Gay Elmore, but you convinced me. That grab around the neck, and that is really dangerous. I know he was trying to hold him up, but in the process, he's really yanking him down by his neck. That first hit, not a basketball play, and this here, he's trying to hang on too, but it's just unfortunate. Sorry, I had to kill a bug that was on your shoulder. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all.
You looked at me like, why are you smacking my arm?
They've been frequenting our broadcast position here at Charleston.
Okay. Shot clock goes to 30. 20. Shot clock goes to 20. Yep. A, which A? Oh. Yeah,
Greg Evans coming over to talk to us.
Yeah, up around the neck area. Hey, coach, I got a flagrant one.
Flagrant one.
Flagrant one, yep, that's what we think. Two shots in the ball.
Yep. Here we go, coach.
Chuck Evans coming over to give the explanation to a former Division I head coach in his own right, Ron Everhart, who was the head man at Duquesne and then was on Bob Huggins' staff for a long time at West Virginia.
And when you mentioned the name West in this state, of course, we talked about Jarrett West, junior, senior, but Jerry West, his name and logo, well, not the logo, but his name and jersey number is Corey Williams, knocked down the first one, is on the floor here.
And Jerry West, of course, God rest his soul, the pride of Shelian, West Virginia.
They tell me he was a great player. There you see that logo. Well, and speaking of logo, he is the NBA logo, so that tells you how great of a player he really was, doesn't it?
We were getting an education yesterday on the Charleston Coliseum and how many great players have played next door in the building that's now the convention center.
Yeah.
Among them, the late, great Wilt Chamberlain. Tough angle for Tokoto, tried to go up over two defenders.
Huntington's own Hal Greer from the 76ers.
And three-point try here for Reese the fifth, cans that.
Yeah, he was really good the other night. Hit 3 of his first 4. Got cold late. But he's got to take care of the basketball. He had 6 turnovers in that 25 turnover performance in the win on Friday night.
Cook Jr. got it taken away. Eduardo Andre in the corner. Here comes West Virginia.
Corner kick.
Sanders the triple.
Corner splash. That transition offense, we see it so much. Guys run to the corners now, and it makes it really difficult to get matched up in transition when you have snipers located on all parts of that perimeter.
Munford into the corner. Tokoto. Williams, soft touch. Cook the offensive rebound. And heard that will regroup. Munford stops that West Virginia run.
And Mumford has got to be a three-point threat tonight. Of course, he is major scorer, but he's got to knock down some threes, because if you look at the Herd that lineup, a lot of interior players. Tuckatow not a three-point shooter. Ja'Cory Williams not. Certainly Cook Jr. on the floor, not a three-point shooter.
Andre tried to go high-low with O'Connell, and a travel for Cook here. Well, everything you'd expect from the outside for both of these teams. West Virginia and Isaiah Sanders up by a bucket, but staying in the game, Xavier Munford. Back at Charleston with Herd that trailing by 2. Picked up their 11th win in TBT the other night with their first round victory. And normally you would see Tim Scarborough, John Elmore on that notable players list. Of course, the all-time leading scorer at Conference USA, but he's out at the NBA Summer League.
Yeah, and it's interesting. He's out there with his former teammate Tavion Kinsey as well, who's the all-time leading scorer at Marshall, which is kind of weird because they both played at Marshall around the same time.
And for West Virginia, it's their 6th year at TBT. Picked up their 9th win the other night. Toby Okani just ended up finishing up, along with Adrian Johnson and James Reese the 5th. And of course, put together by the GM John Flowers, who was part of that 2010 Final Four team. Whistle and a foul here, says Chuck Evans.
Third foul, Chargers #1, JP Toledo is first, and the team's first.
JP Toledo hit with that one.
And without those two players, not a lot of depth for Herd that right now. They're just trying to survive this and get those two NBA players back. They'll be in great shape.
J.D. Witherspoon, who's in off the bench, played at Toledo and Ohio State, gets the bucket for West Virginia. Nick McGlynn, who played at Drake, drops this off to Toledo with the layup.
Nick McGlynn was terrific on the glass the other night.
West is off target. Williams swirling, and rebound ends up trickling out to Toledo. And offensive rebound, there's Williams.
But give credit to Nick McGlynn because he kept that ball alive, and it fortuitously bounced into the hands of Williams for an uncontested layup.
4 now for make it 6 for Ja'Cory Williams.
Oh,
Sanders.
You can do that.
And that was up on the rim, but again, FIBA rules.
Right.
And Weatherspoon credited with that bucket.
FIBA, it's a mixture of FIBA, NCAA, and NBA rules here in TBT, and that's a great one. I'd love to see adapted more in the American game.
McGlynn long at the three-point try. And here comes West in West Virginia.
Got a mismatch here.
And Weatherspoon, a lot of size on Rondell Watson.
Watson tried to pull the chair, but he also grabbed him and knocked him down. Easy call for the officials. And right here, you see you're allowed to clean up the glass. If the ball is almost going in, you're allowed to touch it when it's in the cylinder. And then you see Rondell Watson, the role player for his career, heard that. A really good defender, a little bit mismatched that time. And then he gets his eye dotted by his own teammate, Jared West Jr.
5 now for the former Marshall guard playing for the West Virginia Alumni. Taylor.
Oh,
He couldn't finish the layup. Went down hard. You heard it.
I heard that.
Yeah, you did.
That was my first bad pun of the day, but not my last one.
I was going to say, the afternoon is young to this point.
Right here on the inbound, Jared West Jr. with a splash down from downtown. A simple pin down screen off the inbound. The inbounder, they say, is the most dangerous. We're going to have trouble getting this one in. Off his leg. Oh, what a defensive play.
Goes off Xavier Munford, turnover for her. That is its third.
Munford, you stand out at Rhode Island. You see, we talked about Jared West's defense on the ball. You saw that on display right there.
West, top of the key catch. Mitchell, one more.
Yes, sir.
Two-hand hammer.
It's amazing how easy basketball is when you share the basketball.
West Virginia by 7. Largest lead continues to rise. Taylor quickly cuts it back down with a triple.
Ryan Taylor with a knockdown. He's the director of player personnel at Marshall now. Played overseas. He was actually a pretty good all-conference USA player.
They used to don the headband back in the day. Doesn't have it this time.
Nope.
West left it one and done. Browning winding down the first quarter. And West Virginia doing a much better job than they did the other night. A 4-point lead in the battle for in-state bragging rights. It's the West Virginia Alumni on top of her. Then the Marshall Alumni 5-4. Yeah, so I was getting Scar like really hot, and whatever adjustment was made, now I'm not hearing myself as well. So I don't.
And I'm not hearing any ambient sound.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm getting no gnats in my headset.
Nothing.
Like none whatsoever. exactly it.
Do a better job on defense. We gave up 22 points, and they're not very good shooters. We have to talk, all right? Have to talk. We gave up 2 threes where we didn't switch. Corey, DC, Steve, Rondo, JP. All right, hey, we have to talk and do a better job on defense. We gave up 22 points, and they're not very good shooters. We have to talk, all right? Have to talk. We gave up 2 threes where we didn't switch.
The switcher got to be up a little aggressive, that's all. Yeah.
Hey, you did it.
That's In the Huddle, powered by Puma, with Herd That head coach on Elmore. As we get ready to start the second quarter here in the second round of the West Virginia Regional, Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough. Ott, with a little bit of coaching experience before, was a Division II assistant at Glenville State here in West Virginia.
And I know Ott doesn't look the part, but I watched him time after time beat his brother John, who's playing in the NBA right now, one-on-one. He couldn't guard him. It was always strange watching that happen, but they would go one-on-one after practices at shoot-arounds at Marshall, and I'd be like, man, John is going to kill him. And then I would just win the game every time. He'd old man him, though. He just body him. Back him in. He couldn't stop him.
Well, you got to go with what works.
Yep, that's how I play my kids.
Kedrian Johnson setting up Trey Mitchell.
Buckets.
On the turnaround, 7 now for Mitchell, who had the first 5 for West Virginia. They closed the first quarter on what was an 18-11 run, and it continues here into the second. Browning one and done on the three-point attempt. Johnson right up into him, and a whistle and a foul on Stevie Browning.
Yeah, Browning was on a giveaway, but you know, I feel like Johnson took issue with the way he was fouled, and there's some words being exchanged here. I understand what Stevie was trying to do, though. Trying to get a giveaway foul. Jones was being slippery, trying to get out of the grab, and as a result, you know, tempers flare a little bit, but the officials are on it, and we play on.
Sends Kedrian Johnson to the free throw line. Really one of the few holdovers from the last time these two met in the West Virginia Regional 2 years ago in Wheeling, but only played all of about a minute. And the Marshall alumni heard that with 3 or 4 of the guys who were in this the last time around.
And TBT is so fun watching alumni teams. And then you get guys who didn't play at that school, but they blend in, like Ja'Cory Williams didn't play at Marshall, but he's done a real good job of playing Marshall basketball with these guys. Same for JP Tokoto, who of course played at UNC. Same with West Virginia. Of course, Syracuse won this whole thing a few years ago. Did they have any Syracuse players on there, Matt?
Yes, they did. You're exaggerating a little bit. Catch and shoot in the corner. Mitchell splashes home another 3.
I love to make fun of the Syracuse guys.
7-0 West Virginia run here to start the second quarter. And we're back in about 30 seconds here at TBT 2025. A 11-point lead for Trey Mitchell in West Virginia here in Charleston. And already with 10, had what was 13 in 24 minutes in the opening round. And honestly, Tim Scarborough, he finished his career at Kentucky. If Bob Huggins doesn't resign, might have played another year at West Virginia. Obviously liked his experience enough at Morgantown to play with the West Virginia alumni.
Right, and of course the NCAA gives you as many years as you want to play now, I believe. So, yeah. Oh, turn that one over.
You're just a salty former college basketball
Of
player
course.
from another era.
Please get off my lawn.
I don't know about get off West Virginia's lawn, but they're on quite an impressive run. As far as their alumni, 6 different ones, although 5 that are really seeing action. John Flowers, the GM, and was threatening to come into the game the other night.
He's wearing a uniform, so he counts.
Wesley Harris just got that blocked. Xavier Munford out ahead to Williams, missed the layup.
They got numbers here because Williams is still under the basket at the other end.
Reese cut off by Browning. Mitchell had a good start, but spun that off from just outside the foul line. All West Virginia here. That was what happened a couple of years ago in the West Virginia Regional back in 2022 when it was in Charleston.
Yep, in this building.
McGlynn feeling it, splashes the 3. 10-5 the other night in their first round victory for Nick McGlynn, who played in the Valley at Drake. It was a pretty good one in his own right. Has played in TBT before with sideline cancer and some others. Reese, catch off the rise. Offensive rebound for Johnson. Second chance for Reese. And another offensive board. This is off McGlynn. Heads up play for Trey Mitchell.
Trey Mitchell is such a good addition to this group. Athletic around, a lot of activity around the basket. Always trying to get loose change. Really good defender as well. But on the other end, a splash down for Nick McGlynn. And he's more of an interior guy too, but as you see, he can step out and knock it down.
Designed inbounds right for Reese. One and done on the 3-pointer, and Ja'Cory Williams the rebound. I actually spoke to John Elmore with this, heard that team playing without him. Was hoping to potentially be here today, but the Sacramento Kings Summer League team won yesterday. So as Mitchell streaks to the basket.
It's got to be a weird feeling for John Elmore. On the one hand, he wants to be here with his teammates. On the other hand, he's got a chance to win a championship in NBA Summer.
I don't know, but does the share of the million mean a little more as Cook Jr. ends up getting hit on the arm by Kedrian Johnson?
It's not guaranteed, though. But he certainly would be a reason that they do win it if they did. Of course, remember 2023, they got to the semis in Philadelphia. They won this region. Then they won the quarterfinal game versus your Syracuse Orange, Boeheim's Army.
Derek Cook Jr. unsuccessful from the foul line. Coached by a Marshall alumnus.
Yep, that counts.
You see Elmore and Kinsey both highlighted, not here. DeAndre Kane was also supposed to be on this roster.
Played most of his career at Marshall. Of course, finishes his career at Iowa State. He would have been a good one, and he's a 4-time TBT winner. It could really use him.
And then Stevie Browning, Rondale Watson, along with Ryan Taylor. West feeding Johnson, and back to double digits after Kedrian Johnson's triple.
Oh, intercepted. Nearly, but that's going to stay with Marshall. We've seen that a lot in TBT this year in this region. The guys score a bucket, and they throw it long, a touchdown pass, and a lot of times they've gotten layups off of those. No time to celebrate your baskets in TBT. John Flowers leading the West Virginia Mountaineers cheer on the bench.
From either side of the Charleston Coliseum, no less. Pointing one side and then motioning to the other. Kedrian Johnson picks up a second foul. And what's also the second team foul on West Virginia. Jared West, senior, knows all about those chants. Played all 4 years for the Mountaineers in the late 90s.
Oh, he stepped out, yep.
And back over to West Virginia.
And heard that is a bit disjointed. We talked about them not having a lot of perimeter guys, and it's allowed West Virginia to kind of pack it in and make it tough on them. And now they're playing a 2-3 zone, trying to keep West Virginia out of the paint. We haven't seen a lot of 2-3 zone in TBT.
A hop to the lane. Johnson, this time little mid-range coming across the body.
Yeah, that was too easy, too. Splitting the front guard defenders, getting into the paint, and a little pull-up knockdown.
Taylor, excellent find, and Williams with a two-hand punch.
How about that delivery at the back door?
But heard that, still down by 12. West, little two-game with Mitchell. Out there with Reese and Wesley Harris and Kedrian Johnson for the West Virginia Alumni.
So just one possession of that 2-3.
Harris on the rise, hit nothing but the glass.
Yeah, that was not a good shot by Harris. Ooh.
And Munford just got bumped to the third personal on Kedrian Johnson.
And we get 6 in TBT. And these are shorter games, so 3 fouls is not the end of the world like it would be in a college game. But watch this pass. Watch the vision of Taylor. The double team comes. Great delivery. And Ja'Cory Williams sends it home with 2 hands.
Brian Taylor, always known for an ability to pass during his time at Marshall. 12-point game. Okay.
Yep, I hear you loud and clear. Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep.
Yeah, like you were coming in like disastrously hot in my headphones.
Is that right?
Yeah. It's good now. Here's a look at TBT past champions brought to you by AARP. Join AARP and get instant access to member benefits. Golden Eagles and Carmen's crew finally breaking up what was that long run, that 4-year stretch for overseas elite. The likes of DJ Kennedy, DeAndre Kane, and friends who had won 4 straight TBT championships.
Really good crew. And of course, Carmen's crew has won it twice. 2019, and then they won it last year. Jared Sullinger, former Boston Celtic player, led his team. Then you see the banners. Heartfire, a non-alumni team, won it the year before. And it's been, other than Heartfire and Overseas Elite, alumni teams have won this.
Yeah, Heartfire actually plays tomorrow, the 2023 champs. Carmen's crew, of course, the Ohio State alumni.
That 2022 Buffalo team they were so good, so dominant. I was surprised that they didn't win multiple championships, but that team dissipated. And, you know, it's a lot of things that go into putting a TBT team together. We say this all the time, you and I. The GM job is the hardest job of TBT, because if you get guys that are too good, they end up out in Vegas playing in the NBA playoffs or whatever, the summer league.
We talked about that's TBT history. It was a couple years ago. They were a bad shooting performance away from being in the finals.
Yeah.
Ended up struggling from the outside against that Hardfire team and ended up going home. Odd Elmore told me he was so upset that instead of staying overnight, he drove the 7 hours back to West Virginia.
Wow, from Philadelphia.
Reese, Weatherspoon on the trailer. And the kick out and unsuccessful Sanders. Williams trying to use the body. Drew in the double. Taylor already has one of those. That hit the side of the backboard.
But look at all the black shirts in the paint and close to the basket on defense, because there's not a lot of perimeter shooting as James Reese, the fifth, knocks that one down. But watch how much they're allowed to pack in the defense, because there's not a lot of three-point threats.
Toe-to-toe off the feed, and that'll solve it.
And that only happens because they double-teamed instead of playing it straight up and playing help side.
JP Tokoto at 11 and 7 rebounds the last time these two met. So far with 7 on the afternoon. Reese left that one short. Williams got a paw on the rebound. And Taylor just shoots Sanders.
He did. I think he elbowed him in the sternum, too. Great pass.
And Taylor at the other end, rewarded for his play at both ends.
Well, they may not have perimeter shooters, but man, are they skilled in the paint in terms of getting those little 5 to 6 foot passes to each other. Those are difficult passes to complete.
8th assist for her that here in this first half. Tokoto rebounds the West miss. And Munford, they telegraphed that and knocked out of bounds. They'll say Cook touched it last. Back over to West Virginia.
Mumford felt like he was fouled right in front of us, our table here, because when you catch a ball, you're allowed to land somewhere, and he doesn't think Jared West let him do so. And honestly, I thought that ball went off of Jared West in the corner too, but they're going to give West Virginia possession. And look at Mumford and West right now. This is, they need to be broken up.
Munford playing good D, maybe a little bit of a mini bear hug at times.
They don't call it. It's not a foul.
They let him go in this tournament. You and I know that. Nice entry, Weatherspoon using that big body. And the jump hook.
And then he said Nick McWilliams too small. I don't think so. Really good shot.
J.D. Weatherspoon, who had almost 900 career points at Toledo. Averaged 13 a game as a senior. Munford, I don't think he meant to try and bank that, just too much on it. Reese separated from McGlynn and got the bucket.
And West Virginia has been playing downhill this whole first half. They're getting to the rim and they're knocking down perimeter shots.
Taylor out-hustled by Sanders. Reese with a reverse two-hander.
Hello! Put his thing down, flipped it, and reversed it.
And the Mountaineer faithful loving it here in Charleston. Now what an addition James Reese the fifth has been. Back in 30 seconds in Charleston. Saturday, it's baseball night in America, and it's showtime as Shohei Ohtani leads the Dodgers against the Red Sox, or the Guardians take on the Royals. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Saturday, 7 Eastern on Fox. Largest lead of the afternoon for West Virginia. Here at the West Virginia Regional, Mountaineer Alumni by 15 on Heard That, the Marshall Alumni. Winner of this one gets Elite Nation, who Tim Scarborough, we haven't necessarily had a chance to catch our breath in this one. They're the top seed, led by the likes of former Iona guard A.J. English and former St. John's guard D'Angelo Harrison as Tokoto missed the dunk. But they blew an 18-point lead only to come back and win. So winner of that game will get down as Williams flies into the lane and gets the two-hand finish.
Tokoto doesn't get challenged over the rim as often. And now Jared West Sr. wants a timeout. Tokoto tried to hammer that one the play before and got it blocked above the rim. He's a big, strong dude to do that. That is impressive, but they still get a 2-point conversion on the next possession. With 23.7, Jared West wants to make sure they go into the halftime with a comfortable lead.
Defense to offense for the Mountaineer Alumni.
Yeah, they've been terrific with deflections. They've been at great help side. Their pressure in the backcourt has turned Marshall over more than a few times. Nice clean rip there by West. And as a result, they've built their lead on transition buckets like this one. A 2-on-0 fast break and a little reversal of fortunes from James Reese the fifth.
Well, funny enough, the last time the Capital Classic actually occurred in NCAA form was in the tournament back in 2018. That was a West Virginia runaway. I think we're a little early for that here.
Yeah, but we can't pronounce the benediction on any of these games because, as you just mentioned, our game prior, 18-point lead, and it dissipated fast, too. It was in the fourth quarter, and we only played 5 minutes of the fourth quarter before we turned the clock off and go to an Elam ending scenario where you play to a target score.
And it was one play, a technical foul called on D'Angelo Harrison, the former St. John's guard, turned the whole tide and almost lost them that game, but they held off the Ohio Alumni.
Yeah, and West Virginia had a big lead before, too, on Friday night.
Final 10 seconds here in the second quarter.
For the
foul
shot.
to give here.
Yep.
So Nick McGlynn taking one on Jared West.
5.8, more than enough time to get a high-quality look. Side out of bounds. See what they run.
James Reese the fifth, the trigger man. And gets it right back. Sanders is open.
Charge.
Contact first. Offensive foul.
Yep. The right call. So 3.1. Not as much time, but you can certainly get a decent shot off with this window. Right there, James Reese the fifth. That was a great job by Rondell Watson to jump in there and take that charge.
Leaned into it a little bit.
Yeah, that's all right. We'll allow it.
Tokoto. One last gasp. Did get that off. And an air ball. All West Virginia with a 44-point first half. And J.P. Tokoto, and Heard That, with a lot of work to do heading into the third quarter. We'll have stats for you after an extended break. But all Mountaineer Alumni up by 13 on Heard That here on FS1. Even the band's in rhythm for the Mountaineer Alumni. Up by 13 here at the break in Charleston on top of Heard That. We'll have our halftime stats when we return here on FS1. Even the band's in rhythm for the Mountaineer Alumni, up by 13 here. Even the band's in rhythm for the Mountaineer Alumni, up by 13 here at the break in Charleston. On top of Heard That, we'll have our halftime stats when we return here on FS1.
points. Yeah, they don't. It's unfortunate.
It was also pointed out to me, and that's going to be the comment I make to you, veteran Marshall team, but younger, more excitable WVU team that's playing harder.
Yeah, we'll see how this finishes, though. This game's not over.
Yep.
Nothing like youthful energy, though, right?
Youthful exuberance. Or something like that. Well, back at the West Virginia Regional, it's all Best Virginia, 44-31. The Mountaineer alumni on top. I heard that. The Marshall alumni. Matt Martucci, Tim Scarborough, courtside here at Charleston. Veteran Herd that team against a youthful and exuberant Best Virginia squad. And right now, the youth movement winning out.
Yeah, you know, there's still a lot of basketball to play, but the energy level coming from Best Virginia was high. They were together. They forced turnovers, which led to points at the other end, and they've gotten themselves a nice cushion, 13-point lead. But already in this building, we've seen an 18-point lead get blown and a 17-point lead get blown, won by this West Virginia team just on Friday.
Our halftime stats by Purple, less pain, better sleep. Now doubling up, West Virginia is heard that in terms of more three-point field goals. They forced 8 turnovers, and look at the fast break points as well.
Yeah, and 3 for 8 from downtown. Heard that didn't take a lot of shots from downtown the other night either. They got their points in the paint, but they're going to need to knock some down to spread out the defense of West Virginia.
Now kind of like Trey Mitchell was doing for the opposition. 13-point lead for the Mountaineer alumni. TBT, the basketball tournament, is powered by Puma and AARP. Join AARP and get instant access to member benefits. A beautiful Sunday afternoon on the Canal River. Especially if you're a Mountaineer Alumni fan. West Virginia, an impressive first half, up by 13, starting the third quarter.
Yeah, it should be interesting this second half, though. Remember, Elam ending. Just can't run the clock out. You have work to do at the end of these games, so we'll see how this one plays out.
Munford right to the basket, score that plus the foul. The stunt that Heard That was looking for.
That was good help, but a tardy rotation leads to a foul and a bucket by Munford. He had the advantage size-wise, and West asking for help. It came, but just a little late.
Three-point play for Xavier Munford.
Here they are picking up full court. They can't do a true press, but they're going to try to at least slow this West Virginia team down and wear them out. I don't know if Heard That has enough bullets over there on that bench. They're not a deep bench, just three guys over there.
Now going to get deeper if they could survive this.
Yes, help is on its way.
Just doesn't do a whole lot for you this afternoon. And that picks up its first team foul. Reese had a good first half. West with the shot clock down to 10. Force fed it to Mitchell. Getting held from behind by Munford.
That's a size and strength mismatch. Tuckerto was a little late coming over to help on that pass. Pretty good foul, though. It prevents a sure two, and they don't even get free throws because he fouled them on the floor.
Another designed inbounds. Reese rattles it home.
We saw James Reese hit 3 of those from that very spot in the first half of Friday's game. Not known for his three-point shooting, but he can certainly splash it down from downtown.
12 now for the former North Texas and South Carolina guard. Munford says, I'll see you.
How deep was that one? Near that Jerry West logo on the floor. Knocks it down in front of the bench, and he's the guy that has to knock down three-pointers if they're going to get out of this one and get back into this game.
9 now for Xavier Munford, has all 6 of the Heard That points here in the third quarter. West with a look, matches.
3-ball corner pocket for West Jr. And now Coach West is telling them to call the screens. Watch here. The out of bounds, great screen by Mitchell to get Reese open. And then at the other end, Browning with the turn in that corner, and he kicks to Munford. And Munford is able to splash it down for the Heard That. And then back at you, a former Heard That player and Marshall player, Jared West, knocks it down from 3 in the corner.
Always smiling, both father and son. JP Tokuto, by the way, a little shaken up. And having to be helped off a little bit toward the Heard That bench by Ryan Taylor.
They could ill afford to lose the services of JP Tokuto.
13-point game at the break, right back to where it is. All West Virginia here at Charleston. Browning got to the basket, airballed the floater, but Williams there to pick up his guy. 12 for Ja'Cory Williams, the former Conference USA Player of the Year at Middle Tennessee State. Mitchell and hands for Williams, but out of bounds and off Heard That.
When Ja'Cory Williams was at Middle Tennessee, they were such a good basketball team, and mostly because of him. They had other players around them, but man, was he good.
Can't shortchange our guy, Giddy Potts.
Giddy Potts, number 20. Can knock down threes with the best of them. Kermit Davis had a really good thing going up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee for a while there.
Now, this is not the only region of the basketball tournament going on this afternoon. Games in Indianapolis and Lexington. A reminder, folks, that next Sunday on Fox, with a historic three-peat on the line, can Alex Palou become the fastest ever to lock up an Indy Series championship? Or will the pack hold him off at Laguna Seca? Next Sunday, 3 Eastern, only on Fox. Let's go in the huddle, presented by Puma.
It's an 11-point game. We are fine. If we just get some stops.
If you be early, Stevie's coming off. If you just show high, he might fall. Quick stack right here. Quick stack to get the ball in bounds. Okay? West, Trey, Reese. Okay? Keating. Throw it in. Screen down.
Hey, we need a score and a stop. Score and a stop.
Go. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family.
Well, sounds like a guy who played the game for a long time and has been coaching it for a while.
Oh, yeah, he's got a basketball mind. And he's got some good help over there as well. But they understand this game is far from over. This Marshall team is explosive. I know they don't have everybody that they want as they go back to that 2-3 zone here. But they got enough.
Mitchell right into the teeth with a two-fisted finish.
Both times they've gone to that 2-3 zone, once in the first half and then just now they've given up baskets.
14 for Trey Mitchell to push this lead back to 13. Munford way outside. Rondell Watson with a good hustle play. But maybe not good enough. But Glenn couldn't come up with it. Reese got it stripped.
Oh, he can't pick that up. Bailed out by Ja'Cory Williams.
Disjointed possession for her that after getting the turnover. Browning at the elbow. One and done again for the Marshall alumni.
Stevie Browning's shots have been a little short today.
Harris, little whirling dervish on the baseline. West and Mitchell, look at that communication. Score plus the foul.
Great job of penetrating to try to find others. Jared West got into the paint with the sole purpose of breaking down the integrity of their defense and then just lobbing it to the big fella. Stevie Browning tried to run him out of there, but nonetheless, too little, not strong enough. Mismatch in favor of Mitchell.
All you had to do to see where that was going was look at Jared West's eyes and the eye contact he made with Mitchell. Completes the three-point play.
Here is Jared West applying full court pressure. This is a true press. Good job of breaking it. Blocked. Yep.
17 now, by the way, for Trey Mitchell, who's guilty of the blocking foul.
Mitchell is such an agile, big. He moves like a guard.
Now, regional finals across TBT already set up in Lexington and James Madison. La Familia, the Kentucky alumni, will match up with Everline Drive in a 1 versus 2.
Well, that's a good matchup right there.
Shell Shock, the Maryland alumni, getting NXT era elite in the James Madison regional final. And then still plenty to come. 4 more games as Stevie Browning misses the 3 between Wichita and the Louisville regionals.
That La Familia Everline is a matchup of 2 teams that have come very close to winning the $1 million, both runners up in different years. La Familia, the most recent.
Yeah, Willie Cauley-Stein, Deron Lamb, the Harrisons, all part of that Kentucky alumni team.
And last year, John Calipari actually came to TBT to come watch. He and Bruiser Flint. Bruiser, of course, the former Drexel head coach.
And a former St. Joe's guard as Munford takes care of that.
And, you know, I walked to my car with those guys, and I said, Bruiser, did you notice? Did you go down to the basketball offices? He's like, no. I said, they had your picture, and they had a bunch of things saying, welcome back, Coach Flint. He never saw any of that stuff.
Catch and shoot, Kedria Johnson. And this has hovered between 11 and about 14 or 15 for a while. Heard that, just unable to generate any momentum. Deep catch on the block, that'll help for the Glen.
And it's not about the offense per se, it's about their ability to slow down and even stop the scoring of West Virginia. But they've been running their offense with virtual impunity here this entire night.
West going in on the much longer Cook Jr. Shot clock inside 10. Reese, good hands. Oh, and Greg Evans says foul on Stevie Browning.
Stevie did a great job of keeping Reese in front of him. But when you put your hand in that cookie jar, sometimes you get caught.
Did a good job of not drawing a technical as emotions rise.
Good point.
Here in Charleston. One last look at it. Heard that trying to come back. West Virginia by 10. Well, all kinds of TBT action on Fox as part of the Sunday night slate across the Fox Sports family of networks. Look at this quad header across Fox Sports 1 and FS2, Tip Scarborough.
Yeah, wow. And it's unbelievable how many good matchups we have still left to be played as this tournament dwindles down. Sideline Cancer, a long time, another runner-up in the finals of TBT. Challenge ALS, another runner-up. Aftershocks have gone pretty far in this tournament as well.
The Wichita State alumni.
Wichita State, yeah.
Led by TBT favorite Connor Frankamp.
Connor Frankamp.
And Marcus McDuffie.
He's not just a TBT favorite, he's a favorite in Wichita, the whole state of Kansas.
Heard that, meanwhile, was on a 6-0 run prior to a foul call on Stevie Browning. It still stands after the James Reese miss.
So Reese's connection to this team is that Ross Hodge, as we see full court pressure again, Ross Hodge, the new head coach at West Virginia, the university, lob. Oh yeah.
And Cook Jr. flushes it down. They're back to within single digits.
Yes, sir.
You were saying?
And Ross Hodge is the new coach, and I'm sure he put those guys in touch with James Reese.
A little North Texas connection.
And that North Texas team, if you remember, was a runner-up as well in TBT 2 years ago, Mean Green in Philadelphia.
Reese, though, leaves this one short. Maybe this is That's window. Williams in on West. Missed it.
Good defense, though.
Outlet from Sanders to O'Connor. West Virginia trying to get something started offensively, and he stepped on the sideline.
And, you know, I like the pressure that West Virginia is doing, but what happens when they break it is you're giving her that opportunity for an odd man rush, which leads to an odd man flush from Cook Jr. Great delivery, and he goes up. Former dunk contest participant in TBT, big-time flyer, Cook Jr.
Yeah, Derek Cook. Trouble with some of those the other day. Was had a couple of times where he went up for layups. Should have just dunked the ball in their first round game.
And we were shocked because there was nobody at the rim. And Derek Cook Jr. is a rim wrecker, but he decided to lay them up. But then at the end of that game, if you remember, he got a couple of really big hammer dunks, and that made up for it.
Munford fading toward his bench, got hit on the arm.
Wow.
And 3 free throws coming for Xavier Munford.
These are big. And again, we talk about at TBT, the windows are the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. You want to be as close as possible so that your climb up the hill to the target score is not as high as it was if you're down double digits. So 3 free throws coming here.
Xavier Munford playing pro over in Italy. Has also been in Israel in the G League with the Delaware Bluecoats. But not helping his cause here. Was big, though, to start this third quarter. Had Hurtat's first 6 points.
He was a really good three-point shooter at Rhodey. Shot 45% in 2 seasons. He misses 2 of the 3.
And Johnson, the leak out. Browning, the denial. Hurtat moving the other way in transition.
Let's see if that ignites them.
Munford got it blocked. Johnson, Browning again. Couldn't get the block. Scored the layup and one.
Uh-oh.
What a sequence of events to turn the tide back toward West Virginia.
And it was a blown opportunity by Hurtat because Browning, with that first block, thought they ignited a break at the other end. Watch this block, though. Johnson goes up with the right hand, and Browning clean takes it before he gets over the rim. And then the same 2 players, but this time Johnson with the left hand shielding him off, and he told Browning how much he appreciated that first block. I think that's what he was saying.
Fifteen foul, by the way, on Hurtat. So shooting the rest of this quarter is West Virginia. And Johnson brings this back to 11.
And West Virginia has been really comfortable throughout the course of this game. Not really threatened by Hurtat. But again, we got a lot of time, a lot of possessions left in this one.
Rondell Watson tried the floater and couldn't get it to stick. Rise in the corner, O'Connor. Oh, McGlynn quickly down with the rebound.
Grown man rebound right there, and amongst a lot of black shirts.
Taylor had to look at a 3, passed it up. Instead the spin and missed the jumper badly on the turnaround. Weatherspoon penetrating pitch. And whistle and a foul. Johnson into the teeth of the defense.
Jarrett West and his entire bench wants a flagrant foul. That was a hard foul. That was an NBA playoff foul from the Detroit Pistons, from the Bad Boys foul right there. Watch how hard he hits the ground. And clean, you know, it's a basketball play, but man, that is a lot of contact on that.
Yeah, Ryan Taylor showing a look of surprise. NFL training camp starts soon.
Yeah, I don't know how you could not think you fouled him. based on that chalk outline around his body. They need to do an autopsy. Sheesh. Killed him.
Well, heard that, had this down to an 8-point game. And just like that, 5 straight for West Virginia.
No need to panic just yet. But you do need a sense of urgency. Woo.
That worked out for Williams. Got to the basket in the finger roll.
Yeah, Ja'Cory Williams with a fortuitous bounce right into his hands that freed him up. He was under duress there for a minute.
Weatherspoon off the entry from Sanders. One-on-one with McGlynn. And McGlynn thought he might have mauled him a little bit. Just a tad.
No foul. Oh, did he foul? Okay, he did call it. But at the other end, the prior play, Ja'Cory Williams almost got ripped for a breakaway layup. Bounced back into his hands right down the lane, and a little euro and a nice finish at the rim. Whoa.
Southpaw free throw for Weatherspoon.
My goodness.
Well, you know, late game. Pre-Elam ending.
Who you fouling?
Who you might want to go after if you heard that.
J.D. Weatherspoon.
He's a career 60% free throw shooter in college and hits 1 of 2.
We all throw up a brick like that every now and then. Thankfully, I've never done it on national TV, though.
Browning on the turnaround, and there's Cook Jr. to get this to 10.
Striking distance is what you got to be thinking if you're at Elmore, Gay Elmore, and that group over there on the bench.
Reese the 5th. About 25 seconds worth of shot clock, game clock differential. 18-footer off the cross, gotcha. Shot clock is off. Williams across his body and drops it in.
Unorthodox player, but really effective in that paint.
Reese to end the quarter, missed it. And not much difference. 11-point game at halftime, or excuse me, 13-point game at halftime, and a 10-point lead now. Still all West Virginia, but a chance for her that to potentially make up some ground. The battle for West Virginia bragging rights between the two alumni squads. Come back with us on FS1 for the 4th. whether or not you get to host a quarterfinal at TBT based on ticket sales for the particular region. And right now, the Louisville region, Lexington region, Syracuse region, those squads all in good position, you know, provided the Ville and La Familia, Boeheim's Army all advance. Right now, the winner of this game would go on to the regional final, but haven't sold enough tickets compared to the Wichita regional, where Aftershocks, the Wichita State alumni, would be in line.
Yeah, but West Virginia is lined up with James Madison region, which they cannot host. So if heard that or West Virginia wins this and then wins on Tuesday, they could host that quarterfinal game next week right here on this floor.
So a chance for them and for us to come back.
True. That affects us too, huh?
Yeah, that would be next Monday night.
That means we got to cheer for one of these teams or no?
No, we're not allowed to do that.
I like that Elite Nation team, though. I mean, that's the #1 squad out here in Charleston. Corey Williams with the hook won't go. But not only that, they're the most talented team in this region, but they almost blew it in the game prior to this.
Weatherspoon got that blocked by two members of Herd That, Cook Jr. and McGlynn.
Do you give them each a half? Cash.
Johnson pushes this back to where it was at the break. 13-point lead for West Virginia.
And you remember on Friday, West Virginia went scoreless, just 2 points in that fourth quarter before the Elam ending. And this is where they lost their composure and they lost their lead.
Cook Jr., that's not going to get them back.
My goodness. I don't think that ball went 10 feet in the air.
Weatherspoon, somebody's open. It's Kedrian Johnson again. And Williams, lucky, dodged a bullet there late on the closeout.
West Virginia with just 7 turnovers tonight. Remember, they had 25 turnovers as Browning still can't get one to go.
Missed another floater.
0 for 7 from the field now.
West Virginia paced by the 17 from Trey Mitchell, who's matched up down low with Ja'Cory Williams. West, a lot of one-on-one, in and out on the 18-footer.
Yeah, they've been isolating on Nick McGlynn. They haven't been able to get to the rim on him, but they've been able to shoot pull-up jump shots.
Munford, little two-game with Cook. Browning, they could really use it. Still can't get it to go. That's out of bounds. Last touch by Garrett Cook Jr.
Reminds me of the movie Airplane, where Lloyd Bridges says, I picked the wrong day to give up smoking. Stevie Browning picked the wrong day to give up knocking down three-pointers. They need him because you don't have John Elmore. You don't have Tavion Kinsey.
It's coming straight for the control tower. I'm in the control tower.
I knew you'd know that reference, even though that movie was made before you were born.
And you could never make it today.
And you certainly could not make that movie today.
13-point lead for West Virginia here. Though they are redoing the Naked Gun.
That's true.
Never thought we'd see that day.
Liam Neeson, right?
Mm-hmm. O'Connor off a nice feed from Trey Mitchell. Soft touch, but a little long to Taylor.
Got the mismatch.
Williams, the step through, score the bucket, +1.
Friends, West and Williams. They can shake hands because Jared West knew he was outmatched there, trying to guard the former Conference USA Player of the Year, the 6'8" Williams.
Oh, how bad did they need this bucket? Heard that's first points in over 3 minutes.
Wow. This was the window where they needed to make some big rebound here by Cook Jr.
And they'll go right back to Williams, who's fouled by Sanders. But only the second team foul on West Virginia.
And I think that's a good thing for her, that because Ja'Cory Williams is an adventure from that free throw line.
Yeah, it certainly has been. Seems like the stroke changes sometimes.
Moment to moment.
I was going to say free throw to free throw. Munford off the cross.
Good
Way
defense.
tough. Excellent job by West.
He says good defense. I know. Jared West.
West calling out the set. Sanders got the baseline, got too deep.
Rim checked himself.
And Taylor tied up. That arrow will go over to hurt that.
Sanders just couldn't hang in the air long enough till he got to the other side. Watch this. A lot of guys can glide and glide and glide until they see a clearance. But that time, I think Taylor has something to do with that too, offering resistance and breaking his momentum.
He ran out of real estate and wingspan.
Yeah, he definitely ran out of wingspan.
Pick and roll, Williams, one more bounce. Watson with the reverse layup, back to single digits, he's heard that. But closing in on Elam ending time.
But again, with the Elam ending, West Virginia can't run the clock out. They still have to score to end this game. I think that's one of many benefits of playing with the Elam ending, is that you can't just run the clock out, and defensively you don't foul to stop the clock because there is no clock, and fouling in the bonus in Elam ending gets you no benefit. It's more detrimental because they get a free throw and they keep the possession.
Mitchell, who had a big first half, and that's the big bucket. Got right around Williams, using the baseline.
They are operating in proverbial comfort right now, doing whatever they want. A lot different than the 25 turnover night on Friday.
And West picked the pocket. Reese with the flush. No change from halftime. 13 points is the lead again for West Virginia.
Reese and West. Whoa.
Taylor just anviled Reese the fifth to the floor.
Taylor has gotten some money's worth fouls, I'll say that, on Friday and tonight. And they're going to talk about this one, though.
What'd you call that the other night, the Wile E. Coyote?
Yeah, you said anvil, and that's what made me think of Wile E. Coyote, the super genius, that Acme anvil that falls on him. But I felt like that was more of a Volkswagen running you over.
Look at Mitchell.
Great job letting them know they're too small, they can't guard them. And then being a little careless with the basketball, a run out. James Reese, the fifth, throws it down. And then this foul here, watch, after the steal by Reese, he's going to get bulldozed with a forearm shiver to boot. And that's why I think the officials are going to call that a flagrant foul. It was excessive, and it wasn't a basketball play, and it was contact above the neck.
Well, let's look at it, yeah.
I mean, that might be one of the easier flagrant foul calls you'll see.
Brian Taylor with the extendo arm chicken wing.
No, let's look at it first.
But that would,
Gosh, let them know. Yes.
And obviously reviewing it for a flagrant.
right now it's common though, correct? They didn't call flagrant on the floor. But this will get upgraded.
Yeah.
The forearm and the contact around the neck and the velocity with which he plows him over. All three of those things, any one of them would be subjected to a flagrant. You tick all three of those boxes, you're good.
Threes are shooters, correct? So it's two, ball down there going long. Not good.
All right, I'll go tell Talent.
Yeah, I'll go tell this one. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we got an F1 on white 25. So 3. He's got 2. Yeah, he's got 2 shots, and you got the ball on that end coming
And Josh White comes over to let us know.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. We got 2 shots on the ball right now. 2 shots. Yeah, it's an F1. Yeah.
What did he let us know?
All right, here we go, gentlemen.
So flagrant 1. Josh White coming over, letting us know flagrant 1 for excessive contact. You hear that? I have to let the talent know.
Was he talking about us?
That's a loose term. James Reese will go to the free throw line for the pair.
Deservedly so.
Opposite ends of the spectrum from these two as the West Virginia lead climbs to 14. Everything right for the Mountaineer alumni. And not a whole lot for that, who got to within 8, and that's as close as they could get here so far in this second half.
And this isn't over yet, but they're only 26 seconds before they turn that clock off. Down by 15, that is almost terminal, because you have to get 22 to their 8, and that is hard to do. But if I'm heard that, and I'm the Heard That fans, the Marshall fans, Marshall alum, I want a do-over because my best players aren't in the building. It's just unfortunate. It's a thing you have to deal with TBT as a GM. You get players that are too good. Sometimes they're playing NBA Summer or Big 3 or some other things, and they get scheduling conflicts.
John Elmore very good at creating for his teammates in addition to what he brings from a scoring standpoint. Just helps getting everybody involved. But Glenn got that, sent it up ahead to Williams.
And that's a smart foul by West Virginia because it stops the clock under 4 minutes. You don't give up a bucket, and it makes the hill that much higher to climb for Heard That.
Target score on the board. It's at 81. Jared West and West Virginia in the driver's seat. Elam ending time in Charleston. It comes at the first stoppage at or under 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. You stop the clock, you set a target score. What exactly is the target score? You take the leading team's score, in this case 73, and add 8. You get to 81. First team to the target score wins, and in this case would move on to the regional final.
You know, I love the Elam ending because it eliminates fouling, it eliminates stalling. It also eliminates people clearing their benches and putting their lesser players in the game where it turns into a game of YMCA basketball. So it cleans up the endings, which is what it was supposed to do. I like what Major League Baseball did last week with the swing off. And when Nick Elam came in the other day, we got to talk to him. He's a good friend of ours, of course, name drop. But Nick Elam said that, you know, he wish he had thought of that because he could have put his name on that, just like he did with this thing. And this is quite an invention. It should revolutionize basketball. But like anything revolutionary, it takes time.
He's already been employed by the NBA All-Star Game, the G League up in Canada as well.
Yeah.
Cook Jr. with a bounce to Williams, who got hit on the arm. O'Connor.
So when you're in an Elam ending scenario and you're trying to come back, obviously you want to score as much as possible, but your whole thought process has to be stops, 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 because every basket, they're that much closer. And once they get one possession away, sometimes they let you in because they try to get that kill shot, and they end up blowing several possessions. Here we go with the adventure at the free throw line.
Yeah, sometimes there's a hitch in Ja'Cory Williams' free throw stroke, and sometimes it's not there.
What's worse, his or Barkley's swing in golf? I think Barkley's got him beat.
Now Charles has had years to work on that. It's not. It still hasn't gotten any better.
Decades.
Yeah, decades is correct. Cook Jr. got that rebound and heard that, squandered that possession.
Joakim Noah still may have the ugliest jump shot I've ever seen.
Reese the fifth, misses the bunny.
Joakim out here catching strays, sorry. It's true though.
Watching somewhere thinking, what did I do?
How did I get into this?
Browning.
Stevie.
And they've been looking for that for a while.
They needed it. They needed a lot more of it. But stops. You have to have the stops mentality right here.
20 away versus 8 away. Johnson turns it over.
There's another stop. So now you need a score. And when you get close, and that team hasn't scored in a while, now it's a lot of pressure on the team that's ahead. The dynamic can change, even with a big lead in Elam, awfully quickly. We've seen it.
Well, we did watch the 1 seed Elite Nation in this regional blow what was an 18-point lead, only to redeem itself in Elam ending scenario. Cook Jr. jump hook.
And the tendency is to relax because you have such a comfortable lead, but it can get uncomfortable in this building if you keep letting how this is trending happen.
O'Connor got it blocked. McGlynn
stops. He doesn't see behind himself.
They turn it over, and O'Connor just gave it right back. West Virginia's done such a good job taking care of the basketball after 25 turnovers the other night.
The whole night.
Single digits tonight.
Still single digits, correct.
That was their 8th. Mudford just dribbled right into the double team, nearly turned it over. Browning with the shot clock cut in half. Right to the basket, missed the layup, but Williams is there for the offensive rebound. Bucket and one.
Here we go. Here we go once again. And sometimes the Elam ending provides built-in drama. And I think we're starting to get there with the way Heard That has come out here in this session. Stevie Browning with the drive, left is short. But the cleanup by Ja'Cory Williams, and now he's at the free throw line. Oh, couldn't convert.
It's now 16 away versus 8 away. 7-0 Herd run, though, to start Elam ending play. They want to go to Mitchell. Has been their bread and butter with 19. Cook Jr. got the strip.
Lost it.
Browning from the top. And it might have gotten a little greedy.
That would have made things very interesting, though.
West, Mitchell, somebody's open. Keatrian Johnson, the three. 5 away.
That extra pass to that man in the corner pays dividends more times than not.
18 for Keatrian Johnson. Munford got fouled under the basket. And that's going to be a free throw and the ball.
Jared West again creating. He'll get a hockey assist for that, but Mitchell gets the actual assist. But it was Johnson with the splashdown from 3 in the corner.
Munford this time delivers, so it's a free throw and the ball with a non-shooting foul. And by the way, 5 team fouls on West Virginia, so Heard that is shooting for the rest of this scenario.
Correct. No matter what.
Every time they get fouled.
Jared West nearly stole it again.
Browning got it back, top of the key, missed another one.
Stevie Browning is ice cold in this one.
Munford, degree of difficulty very high.
Yes.
And the rebound for Weatherspoon.
Agreed.
5 away for West Virginia. Mitchell, open, corner triple. Weatherspoon, the offensive rebound. Browning fouled him from behind. And a pair of free throws coming for J.D. Weatherspoon.
That's his fifth.
5 on Stevie.
Weatherspoon 1 of 2 on the afternoon. West Virginia 10 of 12 as a team. Only he and Reese have missed. And gets the friendly bounce.
That was a brick, but sometimes you're fortunate that it falls through that net anyway. You make it in spite of yourself. Not that time.
1 of 2, but they're just 4 away compared to 15 away from Heard that. West making Munford work. Got to the basket and got the layup. 13 away for Heard that.
And this is where, if I'm ahead, I don't really care if you score. I would just leak out and get a quick one and get myself that much closer. But no one does it.
The good ones do. Mitchell steps into the 3, in and out. We've talked about it for years. You have to strategize this thing.
It's all about strategy in my mind.
Munford, Cook Jr. West right up at his grill.
Yeah, he's daring him to drive.
And does again. They're within 11 in terms of the target score. 11 versus 4 for West Virginia. Johnson hesitated. Weatherspoon says, hey, let's slow down. Little 2-game with Johnson. Shot clock down to 12. Johnson missed it. Williams and McGlynn. And timeout, Heard that, and on Elmore.
And another thing, as we said, when you're ahead, you start going for those kill shots, the 3-pointers, where you only need a 2. Because the 2-pointer there puts you within 1 possession.
11-4 Heard that run for Odd Elmore's squad. And obviously realizing the importance of this possession, because all of a sudden you're single digits if you get a bucket from the Elam ending.
All right, Ja'Cory right here. We're going forward one. Ja'Cory, you two pretend you're setting a double screen for X. Jared's going to jump that way, run him into it, set it up, and then boom, we're busting his ass with his backside. Nick, clean it up. Come on. Yeah, you're making it this way, like they're going to pin in, and then you're going the opposite way.
So did I hear that right? Are they going to run Xavier Munford off a double?
Sounds like it.
Hey,
Using Jacory as a decoy.
If 44 is posting you up and he goes to shoot, foul the shit out of him. Make him make free throws.
And we know the strategy that you said. Foul Weatherspoon.
Foul the snot out of him. That's what he said, right?
I think I heard that correctly, yes.
12-4 heard that run. There's the screen for Munford. Off the dribble. Missed the three.
Man, West is so hard to screen, though. He got through it. He was glued to Munford. Munford took another tough shot from downtown.
4 away for West Virginia.
Take it to the hoop.
Reese caught up.
Drive the basketball. If you're West Virginia, drive the basketball.
They'll reset with the shot clock inside 10. Reese, triple, backing up like it was going down, not close.
Drive.
Heard that with another possession. Williams with the mismatch. Into the double. And just threw that away.
West touched that ball, I thought.
And Odd Elmore says, hey, let's get a
Asking for
review.
Review, yeah. He's way out of the coach's box, though. And Greg Evans is asking him to get back in the coach's box. And now they're having a discussion.
That's not the rule. That's not the rule. You can replay within 4. Within 4, you can replay. This ain't the NBA. Within 4. No, within 4, it's a replay. Hey, within 4, it's a replay, right? And it's not a technical. Hey, I know he's making. Within 4, the Elam ending, you can replay.
Jarrett West Jr. clearly touches that ball. The ball changed directions.
Yeah, there's the hand.
Yeah, he hit it. I can see that from where we're sitting live. And I think Elmore is correct in that if they're within 4 points of the Elam ending, they are allowed, or the target score, I should say, they are allowed to review this. And they are doing so. And they should come to a conclusion fairly quickly because Mumford certainly didn't touch it. And Jarrett West did touch it. So that should be heard that ball. And now we don't have to administratively put time on the clock or anything like that because once again, we're in an Elam scenario. There is no clock, no game clock. So the lawyer came out of Odd Elmore. He lobbied for that.
Did he hit it or not? Did he hit it? He hit it.
Yeah, back right here. Yeah.
Go right on 28, 20 seconds. Let me see that thing. I'll make the call.
Yep.
Back.
Oh, you got
It's easy.
Stands as called is what we're told.
How though? How does Jarrett West hit that ball out and retain possession? Is there any doubt in your mind that Jarrett West touched that ball?
I mean, it was called out though on the floor, so you have to be able to overturn it. I guess what they saw, they didn't think they could.
Wow, I'm shocked.
4 away for West Virginia, foul on Stevie Browning. Although, well, that's it for Stevie Browning, by the way. That's
Number
his 6th.
And that's a concern because they don't have any real point guard on that bench.
They have to go to Rondell Watson.
Stevie Browning had a tough afternoon before fouling out. 1 for 11 from the field, 1 for 6 from downtown. And now Watson will join the lineup. Not a true point guard by any stretch, but he'll have to have those duties.
Mitchell got hit. And Nick McGlynn not happy with that call.
I got to go back to the review. If it's reviewable, it's reviewable. So they determined that it was, right? And then they watched the same video we saw, and West touched that ball, but yet West Virginia gets it. But right here, a high five from Nick McGlynn. He's off to the races before he realizes he was tagged with a personal. Now, I believe, did they call a technical foul? Man, this one's falling apart.
Yeah, they did.
Heard that.
They absolutely did.
And I believe if he gets free throws, he could actually win this game here. If he gets 4 free throws.
So there's that.
Oh, so only just one.
Yeah, one technical free throw in the Elam ending scenario.
Yep.
And then Mitchell's going to have one. I know, two because he was in the act of shooting. And they're 2 away. $20 on the afternoon for Mitchell. Give him 21. More importantly, 1 point for moving on to the regional final to match up with the top seed Elite Nation. Ja'Cory Williams stepping to the basket, draws the contact on Weatherspoon. It is a 2-shot foul, though. It's almost better we talk about non-shooting foul because you get the shot and then you get the possession.
If you're going to foul, you want them to be in the act of shooting, really, if you're a defensive.
Which would normally be backwards, but in the Elam ending scenario, that's what you need.
The opposite is true, correct.
$10 away for Hurd that.
And if you're West Virginia, these free throws mean very little. All you need is 1 more point on the board, period.
And got them both. So 9 away.
Nine versus 1 away. So are you driving the basketball, Matt? Jared West is going to call a timeout, and I'm sure he's going to tell his team just that. Let's get the ball inside. They can't foul you. I mean, it's going to be the easiest possession you'll ever have if you catch the ball in the paint.
Let's see what West Virginia is going to strategize.
Trey.
Now, of course, they could foul.
JD dribble handoff. Trey roll. JD dive. Shooters. On the kick out attack. When we get a free throw, we win. If they switch, feed the, JD, if they switch and we go to Trey, you come right here. Okay? They go zone, 1-3-1. JD, you're behind the defense. Trey, you come high. Shees, Keedy, Reese, attack. Let's get a listen, a layup or a free throw. Game over. Hey, Trey, send a screen to Shees, get the ball in the ball.
Hey, we got back.
Go. Go. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family.
Trying to get to the free throw line. More or less use those big bodies, Trey Mitchell and J.D. Weatherspoon.
Right, you take the layup or you take the free throw.
Okay.
Next point for West Virginia wins.
2-3 zone.
Reese will shoot over the top of it. A miss. Hurd that still alive.
2-on-2.
Mumford way deep. Watson tried for the rebound, knocked it out of bounds. And again, 1 away for West Virginia. With the top seed Elam Nation for this West Virginia regional waiting on Tuesday.
Staying in the zone, they get the steal.
Mumford Watson got caught up. Munford, McGlynn, nowhere to go.
That's fine. You don't need to rush. You just need a basket.
Munford off the screen. Again long on the three. And Watson got fouled, and that'll be non-shooting. So that's one free throw and another possession.
Yeah, that's a good thing for Heard that. Mumford has had to take some very difficult three-pointers. They've done a really good job of not only being there when he catches it, but he's athletic. He rises up, and they're right there with him.
And Watson with a tough miss.
Yep, they need it.
Heard that has not done itself any favors from the foul line. Nine of 19.
That's not good. You missed more than you made.
But Munford got bumped here.
Again, why the intensity defensively? You could almost let them score. All you need is one at the other end. Just leak out and go get your point. And I know.
And now 8 away.
Instinctively, though, Matt, I understand you play basketball, but the situation dictates something that's different than what you're used to. You should leak out and go get that basket. And you certainly shouldn't be playing defense so intensely that you foul them at this point.
15-7 heard that run for the same team that scored the final 14 to beat War Ready 63-59 in Lexington last year. But Munford, no dice here on the mid-range.
Here we go. Possession to win it. Again.
West, along with Johnson and Reese, Weatherspoon and Mitchell for Best Virginia, the West Virginia alumni.
Stand in the zone.
Reese, Mitchell, Johnson, the Elam ender, no!
Wow. That's the second three-pointer they took, and they only need 1 point.
Williams nearly traveled, got it to Watson. Williams off the bounce, dropped the double, and Cook Jr. the slam. 6 away for Heard That, 1 away for Best Virginia. The drama builds in Charleston.
Stand in the 2-3, and hopefully they'll force another three-point shot. But if you're Best Virginia, you got to find a way to get that ball going to the hoop.
West, Mitchell, and they're going to the regional final. The Elam ender to end the Capital Classic TBT edition. Best Virginia moves on. And fitting that it's Mitchell.
Yeah, he started off brilliant and ends it. What a game for him. And more importantly, he finally was able to get that last basket for Best Virginia. Great job of flashing into the paint versus that 2-3. The chasm behind the 2 front guards, wide open. Gets a nice bounce pass, turns around, and drops in the money shot.
Honestly, almost looks like a similar shot to what Kevin Jones hit a few years ago to win this regional.
Very good recall.
Odd Elmore and his team almost there. But in the end, Best Virginia, the youthful energy for Jared West and his squad. A big 23 for Trey Mitchell. Throw the placard on the board. They're moving on. For my broadcast partner, Tim Scarborough, and our producer, Adam Coppinger, and our entire fantastic crew, Matt Martucci saying so long. 82-75. Best Virginia overheard that. This has been TBT on FS1. Lexington when we return.